Hello Figgy Fiends and Collectors, this is me, Daniel East 1000, back again with another Lord of the Rings Toybiz figure review. And well, this particular figure comes quite fortuitously as this week Middle-earth returned to the big screen in a more animated form, with Lord of the Rings War of the Rohan, narrated by Miranda Otto in character as Éowyn. It felt natural to look at her Toybiz figure in armour because they did do an unarmoured release of her character. And this is the figure that we're going to be taking a look at today. Unfortunately, I bought this loose and I don't have the packaging, but this was only released in the One Ring style of packaging. So yeah, nothing really of interest to talk about there. So we can go straight in to the figure itself.
No man can kill me. Die now.
I am no man.
So here we have Éowyn looking absolutely fantastic. I really cannot stress enough how well Toybiz sculpted, even for back in the day, their figures. And the paint application as well is just remarkable. Of course, you can see her wearing the helmet there. You've got this long green cloak that she wears. The chainmail as well is just beautifully painted. And the brown leather just looks absolutely stunning. Really, really accurate. It does look like leather, you know, the buckles as well, and some of the platings just adorned in some very Rohan-esque sort of patternage. It's just absolutely stunning. Even on the gauntlets there, you've got some lovely detailing and sculpting and design work synonymous to Rohan. You know, it's very Norse looking armour. Moving down, we've got the legs, of course, the sheath as well, just worth mentioning, which you can store the sword in. It's got some really nice gold detailing. Of course, that chainmail in there, then the material. Just a really, really stunning figure to look at. Now, in terms of its accessories, she comes with a fair bit. One of the key things though is the fact that the helmet is removable. That does give you a look at her head sculpt, of which is a relatively good likeness, at least for the time this figure was released, but today's standard, it's a little bit janky. So her hair is flowing really nicely. It's not super hard plastic either, so it doesn't hinder any articulation. Like I did see, you can remove the helmet and you can place that onto her head. And that's really well detailed and adorned with the Rohan markings that you come to expect. Just very ornate. She also comes with this very long spear, which relatively well painted. You've got some cool sculpting as well going on. You know, they could have done something very basic with that, but they didn't. They went the whole hog. And then of course the sword as well. Again, painted very well. Nothing to really ring home about. It is in that Rohan style. Of course, you've got the pommel there. Really nicely painted. But you can remove this out of her hand. I'll just do that for you now. But you can store the sword into that sheath just there, like so. And additionally as well, the cape can be removed if you did want. It's entirely up to you. I'm not too sure why, but it does disguise quite nicely the play feature that this figure has. Something quite impressive as well, just having that cape off. They've still got that lovely detailing and sculpting on the back going on there. And they could have really just left that plain, but they didn't. They really didn't cheap out with these figures, and that's something I absolutely love about this toy line. So if we pop the cloak back on, this arm here is actually on a ratchet, so you can sort of pre-pose it, but there is a sword slashing action, so she can chop away, which is very, very cool. Again, really like how Toybiz managed to disguise a lot of those buttons and features within the figure, and the fact that you can still pose the arm as well is a very nice touch and doesn't take away from the playability of that. In terms of the articulation of this figure, it is a little bit janky compared to today's standard, naturally, but she has a ball jointed head, a ball joint in the shoulder, swivels in the bicep just here, hinge in the elbow, though it doesn't go full way, it's just a 90-degree, swivels in the wrist, there is a swivel in the torso, there's swivel hips, swivels at the tops of the thigh just there, hinged knees and hinged ankles. So there's some relatively good articulation, although it does also make it quite hard for her to stand because over time those joints do loosen up a bit. It is worth noting as well, and bearing in mind, that Toybiz did do horses for this line. As you've seen in my review with Aragorn and Brago, it's strange that they didn't, for the Horse Lords of Rohan, have King Théoden or Éowyn, let alone just a generic rider of Rohan with a horse. Very, very strange. Only the key characters came with horses, and not the soldiers that were typically seen and, known for riding horses. They didn't come with them. And really, well, this figure, I haven't tried it, but I can't see her sitting particularly well on a horse, being posed up very well on that. Just due to the plastic chainmailing and garments here that are just going to really limit articulation, and indeed the fact that it's just literally a kick forward that this figure has. There's no ball hinged hips or wire legs to sort of shape that around a horse's body. Just very interesting to know. I find that quite curious that Toybiz didn't really factor that in. And to be fair, Toybiz were pretty on it in terms of details and play features with the figures. So the fact that it was slightly amiss with the Riders of Rohan, a little bit disappointing on that front. But nonetheless, that really doesn't take away from the overall look of this figure. She looks absolutely stunning. You can certainly display her in that I am no man pose with the helmet R, stabbing the Witch King of Angmar, if you do have that figure. Very, very nice. Wonderful sculpting, wonderful detailing. A relatively easy one to find at aftermarket. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Did you have this figure? What did you think of it? Let me know in the comments down below. And while this is me, Daniel Leeson 1000, signing out. Thank you very much for watching.
Yeah, cool, yeah.